Hello everybody from me and the bump here. I have to head out in 15 minutes for what might be my last OBGYN appointment because I'm almost 39 weeks and baby's coming anytime now. But before I go, while I'm just here and there's light and the camera's set up, I'm trying to film as much as I can because I know filming is going to get so much harder very soon when this guy appears. So in this video, I want to talk about something that has actually been like the most emotional thing I've dealt with in pregnancy. Maybe that's not true. The most emotional thing relating to vegan pregnancy. And that is like this concept of antinatalism. You may or may not know what that means. It's basically the idea of being opposed to people having children. It's kind of like with spay and neuter. Like if you are opposed to breeding dogs and cats because there's too many dogs and cats in the world. There are too many humans in the world. So logically, you can apply the similar concept to human beings. And it's a concept I'm really familiar with because it is something that I've felt since high school. I actually remember the time I was in biology class and my biology teacher showed a film about human beings and the population on Earth and how we're like just exploding and destroying the planet, and just like human beings are unchecked and out of control. Like the human population is growing so fast, it is not sustainable. And so back in my high school days, when I saw that, I thought, oh my gosh, I do not want to bring a kid into the world. I don't want to have my own children. I'll adopt if I'm ever gonna have a baby. And I don't want to contribute to more consumption and human beings on the planet. So I get it. I totally get it. And that is a very earth compassionate view. It's a very conscious and beautiful way of thinking. So I do want to say that. And for anyone out there, I was adopted as a baby, so I would not have the life I have today if I had not been adopted by family. And my family, my amazing family, I'm extremely pro-adoption. I am also pro-abortion, pro-choice, pro-choice. I think we should have the choice of what to do with our bodies, but that also bringing an unwanted child into the world is very rarely the best situation. And there's a lot of them already here that need good families and homes. So instead we should focus there. All of that said, I obviously am here carrying a baby in my belly. And how I got here mentally and psychologically, I figured I'd talk a little bit about today because it's something that if you are someone who dedicates your entire life, I really feel that I dedicate my life to making the world a better place, a kinder place, to reducing suffering, mainly to reducing suffering. That's what I care about the most. And so how did I get from the point where I did not want kids because I didn't want to harm the planet to the point where I'm now carrying a baby? And multiple things. I've kind of, my viewpoints have evolved a lot about what's effective and about the idea of perfection and being a martyr. I used to think sacrifice came hand in hand with being a good person. If you were gonna do the greatest good in the world, you should work with nonprofits. You shouldn't make very much money. You should live very frugally. You should not take a lot for yourself and give most of what you get. And that you should sacrifice things like the want to have a child or whatever if it's not going to be in the best interest of planet Earth. And I think that was a beautiful perspective. But I also think, and have learned over the years, that being a martyr is not necessarily the best way to make massive change in the world, and that you really never know if the sacrifices you're making are making a bigger impact or a smaller impact, better or a worse impact than other paths you could have taken. For example, you could decide never to have a kid yourself and then go about your life being vegan and that's that. You never contributed a kid. Or you could decide to have a kid, donate X amount of money, $500, $1,000, $2,000, whatever amount of money it takes, Planned Parenthood, to prevent an unwanted teen pregnancy by providing birth control resources or something like that. And then have a kid yourself who's wanted, loved, raised compassionately, carries on the compassionate genes that you hold within yourself, and have still prevented a birth. Either way, you're reducing one human being from the population, but one took a small action of a gift of money and a great organization, and the other took giving up something that is going to impact your entire life. So, or like giving up something that you may want in your life. So there's just like, there's multiple paths to get to the same end impact. And so what seems logically like, if I want to help control the human population, the best thing I can do is not contribute to it. But that's not actually true, right? Like, you could not be vegan, but you could turn 1,000 people vegan, and that is gonna make a bigger impact than being vegan yourself. And the same thing when you're thinking about being a parent. When you step into parenthood, there are so many elements of that you will be influencing those around you who are also parents. So if all the parents are using disposable diapers and you step into this and are using cloth diapers and they're like, huh, really? I'm gonna try that for my next kid. That's really working out great. Oh, cool. And then you spread this different, more conscious style of parenting among so many future generations and parents. So there's those things, like there's the impact that you make through your choices and through the path of life that you take can be really, really great. And then I also have had a little bit of a unique perspective in life with being adopted, because all growing up I thought that it was nurture over nature. I thought I was who I was because of my parents, because of how I was raised. And since finding my biological mother a decade ago, my biological father 2 years ago, my perspective on that really changed. I saw so much of myself, and not just like what I look like or how I act or whatever, but the deep sense of compassion, like respect for the earth, love for animals, ways of just like compassion. It made me believe that compassion is genetic, that there's an element of compassion that can be in genes. And so if every vegan person decides not to have kids, we're self-selecting out of the population the most compassionate genes that exist. We're taking the most like kind, conscious, willing to sacrifice for the greater humanity people and the genes that create those people, and we're making them not continue on. And that thought is a little scary to me. It doesn't mean that we should all go out trying to have tons of kids, because I could birth a sociopath or a psychopath or some, you know, you never know who you're going to bring into the world for sure. But based on my experience, I have found that there is a lot to genetics that determines the compassion that is innate within me. And I'm eager to see if that shines through in this little man. But I really think it will, because Dan has it too, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm curious to see. But then beyond that, this idea of having to be perfect on every single element of every part of your life is no way to live. And it's honestly not gonna make the world change. Like, you're not gonna be a happy, inspiring person who is leading a positive example that other people want to follow. There's a point where sacrifice becomes just depressing to even look at. And so I think tapping in and seeing if you really, really want kids, think about adopting or if you really want to have your own kids, like, don't not do it because you think you're creating a better world. Like that, there are so many ways that you can make an impact on the world with your entire life ahead of you, with your little one there with you. And you don't need to make that sacrifice. That's how I feel now. Of course, the people that are choosing not to have kids, I super, super admire that. And even more so when you're choosing to adopt. That is definitely something that I've considered, and I still do consider in the future. I think it's the most beautiful thing that you can do as a parent, is adopt a child. Is like, that's incredible. And yeah, something that's so inspiring, and I so encourage for anyone considering that path. And yes, it is something that I consider as well. But yeah, the hardest part of this pregnancy has been when I hear from the people that I love and respect around me. I guess I won't say love and respect, because it's usually not people that are extremely close to me, but hearing from the people around me that basically my baby should not exist, or that stepping into this path is me being a bad person. And I know you can think that and feel that, but I'm not sure that that's the best way to go about reducing our population size. Is not about shaming the people who deeply want to be a parent and who follow that path in life. Like, volunteer for Planned Parenthood, help reduce unwanted pregnancies, which there are so many of. Like, there's so many other things that we can be focusing on rather than the wanted kids that are brought into the world, if that makes sense. Okay, I could go on this topic for a while. It's definitely something that is emotional for me. It has made me, it's made me cry. It's made me hurt in my heart. It's made me like really just not being able to look down and feel excitement and support and love from those around you with something so significant you're stepping into his life is not easy, but it's something you may experience if you're in a vegan pregnancy. So I just wanted to like share this video. I'm get a little nervous to post this, but I'm going to, because I think it is really important that we talk about these things. I also want to say that I didn't sit down here having planned what I was going to say. I'm days away from giving birth, so I just wanted to like brain dump out here, because it's better to say something than not share anything. So I'm sure you can find loopholes in what I've said or nitpick what I've said, and please feel free in the comments. It's all good. But this is just how I'm feeling in this time based on my personal life experience. And now, months later, after being like feeling the pain of processing that perspective, I feel so much better. Like, I feel so excited to be a mom. I've talked to so many other vegan parents and people who are changing the world in bigger ways than almost anyone else I know who have kids, and I've asked them, like, how do you rationalize having children? And they have said to me, like, my children are what inspire me to do my work every day. Like, I want to create the greatest world for them and for all the other future kids, animals, future generations, and the future of the planet. So I think, yeah, I will just leave it there. And to everyone, I have full respect for you and your opinions, whatever they are, and I hope that we can all remain just kind and supportive of each of us on the path that we choose. All right, with that, this was kind of a serious topic, but I felt like it was important. If you guys want to stay tuned for more, you can go ahead and subscribe. You can find tons more resources at worldofvegan.com, over on Instagram @vegan. And if you want to follow any more of my vegan pregnancy journey, I'll be documenting a lot more personal stuff on my personal Instagram, which is just @MichelleCain. And I will link everything down below, including our vegan pregnancy guide, which is pretty comprehensive and has tons of information for you. And until next time, I'll see you later. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Bye.